All praise to the Holy One, brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. I just want to continue on because I want to, I believe this is part 5. I just want to get the message out. The night is drawing long. But I left off, I was dealing with not only uh, Salvador Dali, not only his nod to Sigmund Freud, but then also how those two terms in the picture or the painting from Salvador Dali tied into the House of Cards, which was the story that was reported when the Dali cargo ship hit the Francis Scott Key bridge. They used that in the report to talk about a house of cards, and now we've tied that house of cards to the house of Burgess, which the house of Burgess, that term was first used in 1619, and so we realize that that's a code to speak on the 400 years of bondage, and then also the bridge that represents the bridge between the North and the South, which they were together in 1619, but it wasn't till 1861 where the Civil War broke out, and these two powers between the Union and the Confederate, they were at odds, and the reason why they were at odds is that we were the main concern. We were the reason that they couldn't get it together. We was the reason that a Confederate war broke out. We were the reason that they couldn't remain united. We were the reason. Now, the war started in 1861, was this Civil War, and it started in 1861, April the 12th, 412, all praise. Representing, I don't have to get into the numerology of that'd be giving away a little bit too much. And then it ended in 1865, April the 9th. Like I was saying before, time lines up perfectly. Now, the Union, North, against the Confederacy, the South, was the American Civil War. The main reason for the Union's victory was in its superior resources, including manpower. Now, the South really, in the sense of dealing with the melanated man, woman, and child, they pretty much stuck to their guns. They didn't want to have nothing to do with us as a source or yet a resource. But the Union, because they wanted to win, then they had melanated men fighting in the battle. And not only men, I'm sure there were women that were in the midst of that. I don't have the historical text. If somebody does, bring that information forward. But I'm just trying to get the message out. It says that their victory was in superior resources, and in a parenthetical statement, it says including manpower. It's saying the reason that the North won because of this superior manpower. Then outside of the parenthetical statement, they continue on. They got the manpower in parentheses, so that they separated, in other words, let them know that it was a specific manpower that caused them to win this war. Then it says transportation and industrial capacity, as well as the effective leadership of Abraham Lincoln, and the military strategies of General Ulysses Grant. How likely is that? Now, when I thought about the ship hitting the bridge, there was another instance that came up uh, that was brought about in the study of this, where the bridge is called the Dolly, and we know what we're encountering right now is X marks the spot, which is it'll make a X. And there are many videos dealing with X marks the spot of the total eclipse. Now, this ship was called the Dolly, and that's significant because we went to deal with Salvador Dali, which means savior. And then we have to deal with the latter part, which is the Dolly part. Now, when I first heard this, the first thing that came to mind was a specific group of people in India that one of the beloved brothers in the nation brought forward to teach us about their history, but I never knew how this would end up being significant. Well, the book is The Dalit, or the Black and Untouchables of India. And I'll hold that book up. The Dalit, the Black Untouchables of India. Interesting enough that all this is tied together. The Dalit, uh, which is Dali plus Tau, T-A-U. Tau is the T symbol or the plus sign, and the plus sign, when you turn it, represents the X or the mark. Now we got the Dali, which is the Black Untouchables of India, plus the Tau, or the Dali plus the X marks the spot, which is a reference to the social classes of India. And those of Indian descent have a knowledge of what this means. Now let's tie this together to the bridge. In 2022, Mumbai Bridge collapsed in India. The interesting thing about this collapse, it happens the day before Hallows Eve, or Hallows Eve, or Hallows Day, on October the 30th of 2022. A pedestrian suspension bridge over the Manchu River in the city of Mumbai in Gujarat, India, collapsed, causing the deaths of at least 135 people. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 4 plus 5 equals 9. And injuries to more than 180 others were injured. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Plus 0, you still got 9. You just can't. Oh. Typical of his post-war production, Dali has once again borrowed stock motives from the early surrealist paintings. The arched stairway in the broken bridge and the dream recalls the imagery of steep stairs that function as a fruitarian. Now, as we look at this, the Dali are the untouchables that represent a social class. Could it be that the mighty one with X marks the spot, with the Dalit that's over there in India, which has been despised social class all their lives, which are the original people of the land, which are the original people of that land. And the Dalit hits the bridge, and all we have to add is X marks the spot. Ha salute Israel. All praise to the mighty one.